How's it going, people? Salmon Slapper here, and this is a little pest control guide slash how to get full void as quick as possible thingy. So yeah, hope you all enjoy and find this information useful. So yeah, pest control. Starting off, if you've never been down to pest control, easiest way to get there is simply teleport to the Port Sarim lodestone and head southeast until you get to this part of the pier, and then simply right click on the squire and travel. Upon doing this, the squire will transport you over to the Void Knight outpost, and this is where you'll find pest control as well as Conquest. Now for those of you after Void, you can do either of these minigames, as both of them will actually give you commendation points. This is Conquest right by here, this little building here, and to the south of the island you will find pest control itself. On the Void Knight outpost itself there is a general stall, there is also an anvil for smithing and a rune shop. So easy supplies for majoring if you plan on majoring. And right by here you'll find randomly walking around a few Void Knights themselves. So if you right click on them you can actually trade them to get your commendation points. Literally just south of the bank you'll find this boat right by here. This is the novice boat for pest control. And upon completing one round of pest control within this boat, you'll gain 1 point. To get void gloves, void body, void legs, and 1 helm of any kind, to get enough points for it doing the novice boat alone, it'll take you a minimum of about 14.5 hours. You should really be looking more towards the 18-hour plus mark though, as that is based on the very minimum amount of time spent. This boat right by here is the medium boat, and you'll gain 2 points for completing this one. The only difference between the novice and this one is it takes slightly longer for the portals, force fields to come down, which I'll get into when I go through the game itself. And finally you have the veteran boat. This one you gain 3 points for, and it's the one I recommend if you're a relatively high combat, as through here it'll take roughly 7 hours minimum to get 1 full set of void. On average you're probably looking at about 10 hours though, realistically. But yeah, that is pretty much it. The medium boat, in case you're wondering, is about 11 hours, give or take. So yeah, I'd either recommend if you're a low combat level to jump into the novice boat, or even do Conquest. And if you're a higher combat level, I'd highly recommend doing the veteran boat or Conquest. So, to get started, we'll head on over now and I'll do a little tutorial for you, I guess. And I'll get into Conquest later on. But in a nutshell, it's about 7 hours, as I said, for the veteran boat. And Conquest takes roughly 2 minutes, which is what the pest control numbers are based on. And the difference is, in Conquest you gain 4 commendation points instead of 3. Although this does require help from a friend of yours who doesn't mind getting the points with you and basically doing the boring way of playing Conquest. But yeah, I'll get started though. I'll carry on with this pest control now. If you've never been in yet, this will give you a basic idea of what you need to do. But basically you cross the gangplank and go into whichever boat you choose. Personally, I've always gone with the veteran. And upon entry, you'll see at the very top left a bunch of information, such as next departure time, and number of players in the boat, and some other little bits of information. As soon as 25 players or more enter the boat, you'll automatically start like this. So straight away, as soon as you start, directly to your south, you'll find this little, stanchion here. The Void Knight here you need to defend and keep alive at the same time as killing the 4 portals on this island. Top left of the screen you can see how much life your Void Knight has. At the moment he's on about 90,700, give or take. At the very top of the screen you'll see the 4 portals as well as how much health those 4 portals actually have at that time. I'll try and do this for you, just to give you a general idea. To the east of the Void Knight, over here, you'll find the blue portal. Are apparently going to be attacked. So literally just outside the gate on the west side you'll find this portal here. As you can see, it's already dead. Just to the south again then, there's another portal where those players are there, as you can see there. Then if you head over to the east you'll find the yellow portal. And finally on the far northeast side you'll find this blue portal. The idea is you need to kill these 4 portals while keeping your Void Knight alive. And the quicker you do it, the better. It takes a minimum amount of time of about 2 minutes to complete 1 round, if everything is killed perfectly, in a nutshell. That's why I said minimum 7 hours, looking at 10 though. And as soon as you do that and all 4 of them are done, good times, you've completed 1 Void Knight round. Well, yeah, that's 1 pest control game. It's pretty quick, it takes about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, give or take. The problem is though, if you're a low level and you come into the veteran boat, you do need to deal a minimum amount of damage. Now previously, under the old damage system, it was 50 points worth of damage. Now I'm assuming it's 5,000 points worth of damage. So if you are a low level, then you will need to go onto the novice boat or the medium boat, but if you are a higher one you can get away with a veteran. So minimum damage you need to deal per game is 5,000. And that, as soon as you complete, will give you your commendation points and some cash based on your combat level. And then just add a 0 on the end. So for example, if you're 200 combat, you'll gain 2k coins. Now onto the other method, Conquest. I don't actually have footage of Conquest itself, but I can give you a pretty good explanation of what you need to do. So first off, we need to head up to Conquest. As I said before, it's on the northwest side of this island. And it's fairly straightforward. If you've never done it before, you will actually have to do a tutorial. It's kind of mandatory, and it is a requirement for the final quest in the Void series, so it's worth doing anyway. To start that, just talk to the fella sitting down behind the desk. As soon as you've done the tutorial, it'll give you a very good idea of what the game is all about. To break it down for you, in a nutshell, Conquest is RuneScape chess. And as you can see on screen here, these are the things you can buy with your commendation points. That's why you typically see quite a lot of lower levels here, as it does help with training. With your commendation points you can get XP in your combat stats, and also you can buy the Void Knight armor, which is kind of the reason why this guide is here. And as a side note, you can also get some herbs, some ores and seeds, as well as the Void spinner charms and that kind of thing. They're not particularly useful, to be totally honest. The only 2 things you need to worry about is the armor and the XP, pretty much. But to do this little strategy, which I was talking about earlier with your friend, one of you, the person who will be winning and gaining your ranks within Conquest, will want either 6 archers or 6 mages. Your other friend, who will be losing all the time, will want 10 scouts. So buy all of them, then go to the formation screen and make sure all of your units and all of your friends' units are all as far up front as possible. And as soon as you've done that, you want to head down the stairs, and this is where you start the game. The general idea is you want to move your archers up into his area where all of his units are. Your friend just moves his scouts, say 2 or 3 squares ahead, so he moves his scouts 3 squares forwards, and then only using 1 archer you take them all out. Altogether it should take you, it's either 11 or 12 turns, and each turn takes less than 5 seconds if you're doing it properly. In a nutshell, that then breaks it down to about 2 minutes per match, giving you 4 commendation points each time. So all in all, a very, very good method to get Void Knight, although it does get slightly boring fairly quickly. So if you don't like playing chess, then you can do that method. Alternatively, you could actually play Conquest itself properly, as it is actually pretty good time to commendation point wise, as the longer the game goes on and the more complicated the game gets, the more commendation points you gain. So for example, if the match takes 5 minutes, then you could gain something like 20 commendation points. So yeah, it is really good. So if you do like the chess, then I would recommend doing the Conquest. If you prefer the combat stuff though, I'd recommend the veteran boat if you've got the level for it. You'll actually have to try it out and test yourself, but in a nutshell, that is how you get your void. Minimum time required to gain one full set is about 7 to 10 hours on the veteran boat, if not slightly quicker in Conquest. So all in all, I hope you found this guide useful, and I will catch you all later. Have a good one.